Hey babes, happy Tuesday. It's time for another edition of Training Tip Tuesday with me, Coach Coral from Team Babe Athletics. I hope everyone's week is off to a phenomenal start, that you're doing well and having fun. So we're kicking off a new series this month, and in October, typically we are able to celebrate the Ironman World Championship, and we did last year as well. Kind of a highlight reel of some of the takeaways from Ironman's most badass female athletes. So we're going to take a look again, and this week we're going to be looking at some takeaways from Lucy Charles, who I'll talk about her in a minute, but she's one of my favorite athletes to watch because she's so dynamic. But next week we'll be looking at some cycling athlete. If you want to take a guess at the athlete we'll be taking a look at next week, drop it in the comments. And then subsequently, 2 weeks from now, we'll be taking a look at some amazing run tips from one of the all-time best runners from the Ironman long course circuit. So, and this is a highly requested topic, that of swimming. So it's also my personal favorite. But so today we're going to be looking at some of the key takeaways that we can learn as mere mortal athletes from Ironman's best mermaid, fastest mermaid, Lucy Charles Barkley, who she does come from a swimming background. She's an athlete from the UK. If you've not heard of her before, she's incredibly dynamic to watch. She really leads from the tape all the way through the finish line. That's her racing style. So she's super exciting to watch. And she also holds the current Ironman swim course record at Kona, Hawaii. I think it's in the neighborhood of about 48 minutes and 14 seconds, give or take, which is insanely fast. To break an hour even is still smoking fast. So obviously she's doing something right. But today I want to dive into a couple of the key takeaways that we can implement even in our own day-to-day swimming training and swim practice and swim racing that we can benefit from and help us move forward to a more efficient style of swimming. So I unfortunately don't have the tech to show you, simultaneously while I'm talking, a video, any footage of Lucy's swim. However, I will, once this live is over, I am going to drop a link in the comments to a video of her swimming, it's just really fun to watch. And if you haven't checked out different stroke footage, there's just bukus of it on YouTube. So if this is something that you're digging into, YouTube is a phenomenal resource, but also a trap, so beware. But just to kind of get some underwater footage, that's a great place to start. So first off, Lucy is really interesting in that she started as a pool swimmer from a very, very young age, like many swimmers do. And so there is a distinct difference between a pool stroke and an open water stroke. A pool stroke tends to be very smooth, very long, a lot more kind of high elbow. And if you watch the Olympics, you'll really see that kind of smooth, long, high elbow stroke. However, if you look at Lucy's swim stroke these days, she has done a really incredible job of switching over into a more open water type style, which does include, it's a higher stroke rate, so your arms are turning over more quickly. And this is a really key thing to focus on when you're swimming open water, is that since the water is moving around, you want a slightly higher turnover rate, slightly higher stroke rate than if you were in the pool, so that you can be really efficient and grab a little bit more water. Okay? Also, in the vein of what your arms are doing, you'll notice that Lucy also has a slightly straighter arm recovery. So instead of this high elbow, she's coming a little bit wider angle with the elbow. This will help you clear any waves, surface chop, etc. So it's a little bit more punchy, a little bit more powerful to help you slice through the water and really get you forward, grabbing onto more water. But two very distinct differences from pool to open water that are certainly worth noting. All right, something that all swimmers do that Lucy does really well as well is getting a really great body rotation. So I think it's a common misconception, especially as we're first getting into swimming, that, you kind of maybe just have the perception that we swim pretty flat. But in actuality, to help you slice through the water more efficiently, you're going to roll onto one shoulder and then the other. Full body roll to really get the most out of each stroke. And if you watch Lucy swimming, she does a really wonderful job of getting equal rotation from side to side to really maximize her hydrodynamics, if you will. So the third thing that I want to talk about and touch on real quick is the bottom half. So another misconception that I often hear is, well, we need to save our legs for cycling and for running. And so we're not going to kick during the swim portion. I would hesitate to move forward with that notion because a solid kick, and Lucy really demonstrates this very well, a nice, efficient, powerful, yet conservative kick, a strong yet efficient kick can really help you maintain a really awesome horizontal body position. So, the converse being, if you don't have this sort of horizontal body position and kind of ride right towards the surface of the water, if your bottom end starts to dip down a little bit, you're going to be pushing all this water up here versus just gliding over top of it as smoothly as possible. So if you're kicking a bit, it can really help optimize your body position. And if you watch Lucy swimming, she does have kind of more or less like a 4-beat kick, 2 to a 4-beat kick, just depending on the conditions you see her swimming in. So definitely utilize your kick to your advantage. You can, over time and with focus and with effort and proper training and some good drills, some good kick drills sprinkled in there, you can figure out what kick ratio works best for your swimming, your stroke style, and how it can best suit your body position. So the final thing that I think is worth noting that's really pretty cool is that, Lucy does have these kind of couple quirky underwater movements that, if you're talking like textbook, 100% perfect, it might be, the angle might be 5 degrees off. And so I think this is really important to note that even the top tier, the top of the top of the top athletes, biomechanics are so individual because we are all built uniquely. We're all built a bit differently. And what efficiency looks like for each body is going to be a little bit different. So we can't all pigeonhole ourselves into a square this big about what our stroke should look like. We can certainly hit some bigger boxes and make micro adjustments based on what our body enables us to do. But to say if you're not doing X, Y, and then all, straight down the list that you're not going to be a good swimmer, that's not true, because there are individual flares, if you will, to everybody's stroke style and what your body permits you to do. So I think it's really cool to see that even at the top of the top of the top levels with these badass female athletes, that you're still seeing that individual style, that individual stroke that really kind of puts their stamp on their style. And you'll see this from swimming to cycling and to running as well. Everybody's bike fit's different. Everybody's run form is a little bit different. So it kind of keeps the uniqueness there as well. So with that, I hope that this has kind of piqued your interest perhaps to learn a little bit more about some of the badass women that we're able to learn from. Really note that we can learn a lot by watching these high caliber athletes and really pulling back and distilling some of these core tenets that are applicable to every athlete, regardless of your pace, your background, your skill level, what distance you're targeting at the moment. And before I wrap today, I do want to do a quick team shout out to our babe athlete, Barbara. She rocked her first ever gravel bike race out in the Midwest, which is totally cool. So Barbara, congratulations. I hope you're enjoying your recovery week. Also, today is Tuesday, so if you're in the Tampa Bay area, go ahead and hop on out to Sand Key Park, where we'll be doing our Tuesday open water swim as per usual, 5:30. And then I think that's it. As always, if y'all have any questions, don't hesitate to either drop a comment, or you can always message me or Coach Ray, and we're always happy to help you with whatever support, questions, etc., resources that y'all are needing to get you to your goals. So next week we will be highlighting a very wonderful and amazing badass lady in the Ironman circuit. And she is a kickin' cyclist. So if y'all have any guesses, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll also be dropping a couple links in the comments as well, as soon as we wrap, to some footage of Lucy Charles swimming, if you would like to check that out. So with that, have an incredible Tuesday. Have a great rest of your week. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay badass.